Hello students, welcome to English session. Today I will explain you NCERT lesson number 9 from English text. The name of the lesson is The Great Stone Face 1. Students, in this lesson we will see the magic of nature. Many of the time when we see the animal or some flower, and that time when we see the mountains, that sometimes it resemble just like that, it is looking just like a dinosaur face, or it is just looking like any human face. So same in this story it is given that one person, there is a village where the villagers can easily see the mountain, and there is a face of a human being, and there is a prophecy. What prophecy is going on in this lesson and what they are thinking about that great stone face, everything is given in this lesson. So before starting that lesson, have a look on a glossary. Now see, the meaning is immense is huge. Gigantic means immense. Clustering, gathering. Benign means kind, gentle. Pensive means thoughtful. And stirred means moved. Now I am going to read a story. Before you read, there is a paragraph is given, and in this paragraph what is in the lesson, it is given here. Seen from a distance, hilltops and huge rocks seem to assume various shapes. Many of the time when we see the mountains from a distant side, that time we can feel that there is some faces on the mountains, okay, but it is just not made by human being, it is a nature's magic. They may resemble an animal or a human figure. People attribute stories to these shapes. Some stories come true, other don't. The villagers, because obviously it is a human nature that whatever they see, they make a story on it. So in the villagers, in a village, there was a great stone face, and the people who were living there, they all were making different stories. The great stone face is one such shape that reminds the inhabitants of the valley of a prophecy. Here the great stone face, that was that type of face which is saying about the prophecy which is going to come. Okay, one type of prediction we can say. Now what was it? Did it come true? That we will know in this story. One afternoon when the sun was going down, a mother and her little boy sat at the door of their cottage, talking about the great stone face. There was a village, and in that village there was a boy, a small boy, and his mother, and they both were sitting in his cottage door, and they were looking because it was against them. They had only to lift their eyes, and there it was, plain to be seen, though miles away, with the sunshine brightening all its feature. Because it was the sunshine, so that's why all the features of that great stone face were shining, so that the boy and the mother can easily see the great stone face there. And what was the great stone face? That was asked by boy. The great stone face was a work of nature formed on the perpendicular side of a mountain by some immense rock. Immense means huge, and which had been thrown together so that when viewed at a proper distance, they resembled the feature of a human face. Here the writer is describing that what is the great stone face. The great stone face is a work of nature, where it was formed by the huge mound rocks, and it was all thrown together so that in a proper distance, if you will see it, it will look just like a face, human face. If the spectator means viewer, if the spectator approached too near, he lost the outline of the enormous face and could see only a heap of the gigantic rocks piled one upon another. just the great stone face was looking from a distant side. But if the viewer will go near and it will look like what is it? It is nothing else just like a heap of stones which is properly piled one on other. Now, but seen from a distance, the clouds clustering about it, the great stone face seemed positively to be alive, because when the clouds were clustering means gathering, when they all gathering on the great stone face, that time this face looks alive. Now it was the belief of many people that the valley owed much of its fertility to the benign face that was continually beaming over it. Now the villagers, whenever they see this face, that time benign means kind face, because from the distant side this face was looking so kind and it was looking just like it is giving a smile. Okay, so now it was that continuously this face was giving its smile. A mother and her little boy, as we said earlier, sat at the door of their cottage and gazing at the great stone face and talking about it. The child's name was Ernest. Mother said, while the great face smiled on him, I wish that it could speak, for it looks so very kindly that its voice must indeed be pleasant. If I ever see a man with such a face, I should love him very much. Now here the Ernest is saying to his mother that, mother, I think that this is a very kind person, whoever face is there. So now it looks so kind, just think that how its voice will be, because it is so kind. So the person who is very kind, their voice, they speak very politely and all. So it is saying that it should be pleasant, and whenever if I ever see this type of person who will resemble with the great stone face, surely I will love with him. If an old prophecy should come to pass, answered his mother. And the mother answered that if the old prophecy will come pass true, then only you can meet that person. Okay, we may see a man sometime with exactly such face as that. Now the mother is saying that if the old prophecy, and what was that old prophecy, that his mother will tell you right now. But he is saying that if the old prophecy will come true, that time surely we will meet that person. Now what prophecy do you mean, dear mother? Eagerly inquired Ernest. Please tell me about it. So his mother told him a story that her own mother had told her when she herself was younger than little Ernest. And this story was also telling to Ernest's mother. So, but that time Ernest's mother was more younger than Ernest. Okay, the age was very little. And at some future day, a child should be born near here, who was destined to become the greatest and noblest person of his time, and whose face in manhood should bear an exact resemblance to the great stone face. This was the prophecy, that in near future, the person who will born in the valley and who will be the noblest and greatest person ever, that person's face will be resemble with this stone. Okay. And now many still had faith in this old prophecy, and still many persons are having faith that one day that person will come and whose face will match with this great stone face. But others took it to be nothing but idle talk. At all events, the great man of the prophecy had not yet appeared. "Oh mother," cried Ernest, clapping his hands above his head, "I do hope that I shall live to see him." Now here the Ernest desiring that I should see him, for that age I should alive. Okay. Now his mother was an affectionate and thoughtful woman. It was proper, she thought, not to discourage the fanciful hopes of her little boy, so she said to him that perhaps you may. And Ernest never forgot the story that his mother told him. It was always in his mind whenever he looked upon the great stone face. He spent his childhood in the log cottage where he was born. was dutiful to his mother and helpful to her in many things, assisting her much with his little hands and more with his loving heart. Now here the writer is describing the Ernest, that how the Ernest was. He always helped to his mother. Whatever he can do, he helped to his mother with his little hands. He always assists to her in some work, okay, with his loving heart. In this manner, from a happy yet often pensive child, he grew up to be a mild and quiet youth. And now here he became young with his thoughtful nature and with his happy mood, okay. Ernest had no teacher, but the great stone face became one to him. Ernest was having no teacher, but the great stone face. Even the Ernest writer has told us before that the great stone face looks so kind that the person easily feel kindness in his heart. Now when the work of the day was over, he would gaze at it for hours, until he began to imagine that those vast features recognized him and gave him a smile of kindness and encouragement. As the day was over and as he completed his work, he always sat in front of the stone face and then he gazed it for a long hours till he found he could see the kindness and happiness on his face, and now he got the encouragement. About this time there went a rumor throughout the valley that the great man who was to bear a resemblance to the great stone face had appeared at last. It seems that many years before a young man had left the valley and settled at a distant seaport. Now here, after so many years, it is saying that there was a rumor that before so long a person who had left already that village and now he has become a very popular man, and when he was young man that time he left a valley and now he went to settle to a distant airport and now he seaport, and now he is coming to live in this valley, and his name was Gathergold, which was his name, had set up as a shopkeeper and being sharp in business matters, had become so very rich that it could have taken him 100 years only to count his wealth. Now he became so rich to go there seaport that now it took 100 years. If we started to count the money, then it would take 100 years to count the money. So he was a richest person. In time he thought of his native valley and decided to go back there and end his days where he had been born. Okay, so now that Goldenlocks thought that now in my end days, in my last days, I have to go to my valley where I born. Ernest had been deeply stirred by the idea that the great man, the noble man, the man of prophecy, after so many ages of delay, was at length to be seen in his native valley. Now the Ernest was thinking that after these so many years, now we are all able to meet that person whose face will resemble with this great stone face. While the boys was still gazing up the valley one day and imagining that the great stone face returned his gaze, the noise of wheels was heard and a crowd of people cried, "Here comes the great Mr. Gathergold." A carriage drawn by 4 horses dashed round the turn of the road. Within it, thrust partly out of the window, appeared the face of an old man with yellow skin. And now that person came to the valley, and all the people of that village started to say that now the great stone face, here the great Mr. Gathergold is coming. And now he came in a carriage with 4 horses. Okay, and as he came, he just peeped out from the window. The very image of the great stone face, and all the person are started to shout, that the face is just matched to the great stone face. Sure enough, the old prophecy is true. Here we have the great man at last, and all had said that here the great person is this. And what greatly puzzled Ernest, but here the Ernest was still puzzled, because they seemed actually to believe that here was the likeness which they spoke of. He turned away sadly from the wrinkled shrewdness. Shrewdness means the quality of having good powers. Okay, we can say here that image and all of that unpleasant face. And now here he did not match that quality which the great face was having with the gather gold. Now here the Ernest was said, only Ernest who was regularly looking to that stone face, and now he was easily identified that gather gold is not just like a great stone face, and gazed up the valley where the stone face seemed to say, and he was just looking to gather gold and looking to stone face, and now here he just thought that great stone face seemed to say that he will come, fear not Ernest, the man will come, that you don't fear, that one day that person will come. Okay, so here the part 1 of this here ended. So second part, let's start. Now in the second part, the years went on and Ernest grew to be a young man. He attracted little notice from the inhabitants of the valley. Inhabitants means people living in the valley. Okay. Now they saw nothing remarkable in his way of life, except that when the labor of the day was over, he still loved to gaze upon the great stone face. Now many years had passed, and now Ernest grew to be a young man, and still he did not see any type of changes in the valley life, and nobody came who resembled the same great stone face. His days, his routine was same, that as the labor of the day was over, he sat in front of the stone face and gazed it. Now their idea was that this was a folly, means foolishness we can say, but pardonable, because Ernest was industrious, means hardworking, industrious means hardworking, kind and neighborly, neighborly means helpful. Because their idea was this was a folly. Everybody was thinking that it was foolish work, but it is pardonable because Ernest was very hardworking, kind and helpful person. They did not know that the great stone face had become a teacher to him. The villagers did not know that this great stone face had become the teacher of Ernest, and that the sentiment which was expressed in it would enlarge the young man's heart and fill it with deeper sympathies than other hearts. And because they did not know that this great stone face had made the teacher of Ernest, and this feeling had made had filled the Ernest's heart with kind and love. Okay, and it was filled with deep sympathies. There were the feelings in his heart. They did not know that from this would come a better wisdom than would be learned from books, and they did not know about it, that this was the better wisdom from learning instead of learning from books. It was the great wisdom and better wisdom that he learned. Neither be Ernest know that the thoughts which came to him so naturally in the field and the fireside were of a higher tone than those will all men shared with him. A simple soul, simple as when his mother first told him the old story. He beheld the marvelous face looking down the valley, and still wondered why its human likeness was so long in coming. Now here the meaning of beheld means so. And now you will see the other glossary, that labor means work, sympathesis means feelings, beheld means so, renowned means famous, banquet means feast, proclaimed means said loudly. So beheld means so. By this time poor Mr. Gathergold was dead and buried. And now what happened here, when after so many years the Gathergold was dead and he was buried, his wealth, which was the body and spirit of his existence, had disappeared before his death. It means that he was not a good person, because whatever he earned, he had disappeared it before his health. Since the melting away of his gold, it had been generally agreed that there was no great kindness likeness after all between the ruined merchant and the majestic face upon the mountain, because now the after getting died of that merchant Gathergold, everybody felt that there were no likeness between the Gathergold and the great stone face, because whatever he earned, he had used it. He didn't left any money for the for others and for even help to the villagers. So he was not a kind person. It so happened that another son of the valley had become a soldier many years ago. Now after a great deal of hard fighting, he was now a famous commander. He was known on the battlefield by the name of Blood and Thunder. Old and tired now, he had lately expressed a desire to return to his native valley. Now again the second person who had left the valley so many years ago, because he joined the army. He was a great soldier, and now at the age of his end years, he was coming in the native valley. His desire to come to his native valley. The inhabitants, his old neighbors and their grown-up children, prepared to welcome the renowned commander. Renowned means famous. He was very famous. So all his child, his grandchild and the neighbors, oh, everybody had started to welcome him. It was being said that at last the likeness of the great stone face had actually appeared. Great therefore was the excitement throughout the valley, and many people who had never once thought of glancing at the great stone face now spent much time in gazing it, because many people were there who did not waste a single minute to see the great stone face. They also have started to sit in front of great stone face to see that the person, the soldier which is who is coming, that person's face will resemble with the great stone face. So they started to sit in front of that stone. And now for the sake of knowing exactly that how General Blood and Thunder looked, and the second reason was there that they wanted to see that how, because they did not see him for a long time. So they wanted that how the Blood and Thunder will look like when he will come. Now on the day of the general's arrival, Ernest and all the other people of the valley left their work and proceeded to the spot where a great banquet, means the feast, had been prepared. Soldiers stood on guard, flags waved and crowd roared. Ernest was standing too far back to see Blood and Thunder's face. Now everything was arranging there. However, he could hear several voices. "It's the same face exactly," cried one man dancing for joy. Because many of the times what happened, that if somebody tell us that this person will surely resemble with that face or with that other person, then our mind will started to think like this. So without looking, without seeing the similarities between the great stone face and the Blood and Thunder, they have started to cry that again the great face came, that the same face came. "Wonderfully like it, that's the fact," replied another. "And why not?" cried a third. "He is the greatest mayor of these or any other age, beyond a doubt," because he was the great man, surely. But it doesn't mean that he had the same qualities. But the person they were discussing to one another, yeah, sure, this was the great stone face. Ernest at last could see the general's face, and in the same glance to the side he could also see the great stone face. Now If there was such a likeness as the crowd proclaimed, means is as the crowd is loudly saying, announcing, now Ernest could not recognize it. Now again Ernest again showed that the blood and thunder soldier was not having any similarities with the great stone face. Fear not, Ernest, again his heart said, as if the great stone face was whispering to him, fear not, Ernest, he will come. So, students, in this story, here also the end is left, because it is not clear that now who is there who will resemble with the great stone face. So that we will go for the next chapter number 10. This is also the remaining part of the story. There are the two parts given. One is I have explained you today, and the second one which I will explain you in my next video, and that will be the end of the story, and there we will come to know that who was actually the person who will resemble with the great stone face. So now in this story we came to know that there was a stone in one village, and it was same resembling like a human being, and there was a prophecy that the person who will be noblest and greatest person, that face will be matched with this stone face. But two persons came around according to the villagers, gather gold and blood and thunder, but they were also not matched with the great stone face. And what happened next, that we will know in the next video. Till then, goodbye, take care.